Hello, everyone. Welcome to Beyond Board Podcast. It's a podcast where we say everything like it is, as you already know. Today is an exciting day because we have very important people in the house, and we also have a very interesting topic, an educative one, to be discussed today. My name is Miriam Uzoma, and with me today are my hosts in the house, my co-host in the house, and our lovely guests. By my left, we have Mrs. Chinyere Ada Idiga, who is the lovely wife of our boss, FC Mr. Felix Idiga.
You're welcome, ma.
Welcome, ma. Mrs. Chinyere Idiga is the managing director of Galpin Suits in Lagos.
Wow.
And has been married for 37 years.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Wow.
And also beside her is the lovely Mrs. Nneka Obi, who is a director in JP Mandy's Construction in Onitsha and here in Abuja.
Okay.
And she has been married for 27 years.
Wow.
Wow. Congratulations, ma'am. You're welcome.
And also, beside me is my co-host, the lovely gentleman, Richard David.
Hello, everyone.
And the lovely Obe.
Hello. Hi.
So today, our topic for discussion is secrets of a successful marriage. Because I'm sure you're looking forward to the discussion. What do you think?
Yes, I am. I'm like, what are the secrets? I want to know about it. So I can...
Successful marriage differs from person to person. I'm sure different couples will tell us different things as different reasons to the success of their marriage.
Yeah.
So, Ma, can you please, Mrs. Chinyere, this one is directed to you. Can you please tell us what do you think is the secret to a successful marriage?
Well, I'm very happy that you guys have me here today.
Thank you.
Actually, if you ask me secrets of successful marriage, I will tell you there is none. For me, marriage is all about what you make out of it. My secret might not be your secret. What I do for my marriage to work might not work for everyone. So if I come out to list secrets of successful marriage, I might be misleading some people. So in marriage, what I tell people to do is, every marriage is very unique.
Yeah.
Look at yours, build yours up, and that's your secret.
Yeah, I would want to know, especially for the young ones getting married, what do you think they should have in place? Like some sort of foundation in place before you say, okay, this is the one you're choosing. What should you look out for before saying I do? Let's start from there.
That's a hard one. Because I think, first of all, before you can say that, you have to ask yourself, do I need to be married?
That's good.
Do I need to be married?
So not everybody shouldn't get married.
Not everybody should.
Wow.
So everyone should ask the question, do I need
Do I
to
need
get
to be
married?
married?
Do I need to get married?
Do you really want to get married?
Or are you getting married for the society?
Or for the wrong reasons?
For the wrong reasons,
Yeah,
because
that's
I
interesting.
noticed a lot of people get married for the wrong reasons.
That's true.
So that's why you need to ask yourself, do I need to be married? Because I believe marriage is the best and the sweetest thing on earth.
Oh, wow.
If you're married to the right person or with anybody, you can make it sweet.
What makes the person the right person?
Perfect
I think it
question.
differs from person to person, man.
How would you know the right
How would you know
person?
this is the right person?
He could seem to be the right person. I'm talking because I'm a woman, so I'm talking for a man. He could seem to be the right person, but halfway through, what if you realize he's not the right person?
That's why I asked, how do you know he's the right person?
So, ma, maybe you would tell us.
So that's why I said, marriage, no two marriages is the same thing.
Right.
That's why I tell people, do not advise based on your own marriage. Because if I'm giving you an advice right now, I'm doing it based on my own experience.
It might not work for the next
And
person.
it might not work for you.
Right.
But I believe there should be foundations in place to proceed. For example, like communication. Is that not a foundation? Is
Communication.
communication not important?
Very, very important. I would say communication is very important. Commitment is very important. Love is very important. Kindness is very important. Forgiveness is very important.
That's very much.
All these things are very important for marriage to work. And that's why the question still comes out. You have to ask yourself, am I willing to commit? Am I willing to leave part of what I believe because I want to be with him?
Being able to compromise.
Compromise.
That's true.
On both sides. On both sides. You have to compromise a lot of things. Don't forget that marriage is coming from two different people, from two different families. They ate different food. They were taught differently.
Values, yeah.
So these two people come together and say, we want to be together.
Conflicts most
so
times.
You must compromise so many things to make that marriage successful.
Okay, so Mrs. Obi, what do you agree with her? Do you think the things she just mentioned, as foundations for a good marriage? What's your opinion on this?
Yeah, she just summarized everything. I agree with her. Marriage is all about compromise. It's all about complementing each other. And, you have your aspirations. You know what you want to be in life. You have, if you want to be a career person, you already have your ideas until something cuts in. And that's the man of your dream. And suddenly, you have to go live in with this person. He may not have the same views as you have, but that's not the only place you guys are diverging. So there are other ways you guys are converging, and that is a stronger point. So are you ready to compromise some things? Are you ready to leave off some things? Maybe in the interim, maybe forever. You never can tell. It could be interim, it could be forever. Are you ready to do this because of this marriage? That's what marriage is all about. If you're not ready to do that, and he's not ready to let you be, then there's a red flag.
So would you say, who do you think compromises the most in marriage? Because most times, for example, the man lives in Lagos, for example, and you the woman, you lived in Abuja. And so you both get married. Who's going to move? Are you going to, should we base this movement on as per he's the husband, the head of the home, so you should leave Abuja and relocate? What if you earn more?
Okay. Remember, the topic is successful marriage.
Yes.
And you said who should compromise more? Nobody compromises more.
Okay.
Everybody compromises the same. We look for the area of need and fill it. It depends. What's he doing in Lagos? What am I doing in Abuja? Can my job take me to be going to Lagos and Abuja? And it's okay. Can his job take him to Lagos and Abuja? And it's okay. Is he comfortable keeping his family in Lagos and he shuttles? Or is he commonly keeping? Okay, I give you a personal example. I was staying in the East and my husband was in Abuja. And he was shuttling the boat. At some time he felt, no, East is not okay to keep my wife. He moved me to Abuja. And for 3 years he's not been in Abuja. He comes in and he goes. Do you understand? So why didn't he leave me in the East? He feels this time East is more comfortable. He's a family. We're talking about two entities now becoming one. So we look at it. We have to sit down. Yeah, we have to sit down. That's the compromise now. Have to sit down and look at it. Which part favors the union? It's all for the union.
The union. Okay.
Yeah. So which part favors the union? And then we toe that line. That what makes successful marriage.
So
I like that.
when it comes
to favors the union.
Yeah.
I like that.
When it comes to me eating egusi and my wife eating vegetable, and she does not eat egusi, and I'm so engrossed
in love with. Yeah.
Does it mean I should leave my egusi for her vegetable?
You can make.
No, like I'm trying to question.
No, you have a point. Little things
Can also break.
little things in my marriage are not to be ignored.
Sure.
Especially food. Food plays a very important role in marriage.
Yeah.
If the man loves egusi so much and I don't eat egusi, because I love him, I may try to eat it. And if it doesn't work out, he has to understand I don't eat it. And because I don't eat it, maybe I will not cook it most of the time. If he doesn't mind, that's fine. But then we could have our lunch having egusi and vegetable at the same time. When you go for parties, they serve you fried rice, jollof rice, and coconut rice at the same time.
Yeah.
And so what stops you from serving it in the home if you can afford it? If you can't afford it, we could do egusi today, or we could make our soup, and then there's no egusi, and we go for some other thing. Or if I want to join him in his egusi, fine. Just the bottom line is what works for the union. Now, don't do me or you, because egusi and vegetable is me and you.
Yeah.
We're talking about
has to be us.
What us
Yeah.
has to be
Us,
us.
yeah.
So what works for us? If
Okay.
it's Obono, please forget the drama about egusi. Move to Obono.
So, Mrs. Idiga,
That one.
I agree.
yeah.
That I don't eat egusi does not mean my husband shouldn't eat egusi. You know, I just have to especially when it's not medically, it's not medical. Like
You're
if
not
I eat it, I
allergic.
have
Yeah.
You're not
reactions.
allergic
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
If I have allergy when I eat it, he should understand automatically.
Exactly.
He wants his wife alive.
True.
To even talk about the successful marriage. I can't be dead and you talk about the successful
Yeah,
marriage.
true.
We're talking about love and compromise. Do you think love is enough to sustain a marriage?
You know what? Marriage is far larger than love.
Okay.
People keep saying, oh, I have to fall in love to be able to be married. And I say no to that. Why would you fall in love to get married? Why?
Shouldn't you have some sort of attraction to
Feeling?
the person?
Well, attraction is not love.
How about feelings?
Feeling is not
Yes.
love.
Then what is love?
Love, let me tell you something. First of all, God commands all of us to love. Even love your enemy. Even to love your enemy. Do you have attraction for your enemy?
No.
I love my mom. Do I have feelings for my mom?
Some
No.
sort of
Can I? Like
Agape
sexual
love.
feelings.
No,
Can I
that's
have
different.
feelings for
Agape
my
love.
mom? Yeah. No, I mean,
yeah.
love is so broad that you can't just
Put it in
base
one.
it on just marriage. No, you can't base marriage on love.
True.
You understand what I'm saying? As a human being, you're supposed to love everybody.
So when it now
Everyone.
comes to that,
Then when it
particular-
now comes to this
Yeah.
particular person, this is when we talk about this attraction. This is when we talk about feelings. Okay? And what attracted me to my husband? What will I say attracted me to him? Everybody have different reasons why you are so connected to somebody.
not necessarily love.
Not necessarily love. It could be because of the way he makes me feel. It could be because he's very hardworking.
Exactly.
It could be because he's very handsome to me. Don't forget, one man's
kind.
meat is another man's
poison.
poison.
Yes, of course.
It could be he is very kind to me.
True.
You understand what I'm saying? So when we talk about marriage, you just have to understand, like I said, do I need to be married? And if the answer is yes, is this the right man for me? If the answer is still yes, why is he the right man
For you.
for me? This is now when you start, looking at maybe I'm attracted to him because he's tall, because he's short, because he's very hardworking. For some people, because he's rich. You understand what I'm saying? Whatever that is making this man very appealing to you, I tell you, you have to hold on to that. Because down the line, you need that particular thing to keep you moving in the marriage.
Okay. So, Ma, what would you say, Mrs. Obi? What would you say are the hard? What would you consider the hardest years of marriage, if I can use that? Because some people will say once they newly get married, is it the first 1 year? Some say the first 3 years, if you can overcome it. Some say 5 years. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Based on your experience, based on your personal experience.
This question came up when I newly got married, and my husband said, "You know what? We are writing our constitution."
okay.
Yeah. So the first 6 months we were virtually writing constitution. And what do I mean by we're writing constitutions? We're trying to reject the things we don't want and accept the things we want.
Okay.
Like the African setting, the husband is the head of the family. Yeah, no contest. The husband is the head. But something moves the head.
The body.
Otherwise, is headless.
Yes, of course.
Something moves the head, and that's the neck.
The neck.
Yeah.
And that's where the wife is. So sometimes you have to move it to where you want it to be. And my husband will say something. He say, you know what? You don't move a caterpillar standing in front of you. You move with soft buttons. So the hardest part of the marriage is like, to me, is maybe the first. It didn't take us too long to bond. Maybe the first 6 months. It wasn't really hard, but but if I look at it now, I would say that's the hardest because those were the points I was like, no, this shouldn't be okay with
agreements. Yeah.
Okay, because some people would say the things because there's some things you saw during courtship or when you guys were dating that seems to be magnified now, or because some people might say he gets angry. I know he gets angry easily. I didn't know it was this bad.
Temperamental.
The temperament was this bad, and so you're already in the marriage.
You can leave,
and it is really maybe his temper rages.
Something.
This is like the early stages of the marriage. You don't know how do you balance this out. How do you start to control or manage this temper?
Okay. For some people, the red flags are there, and you just have to look at it and see if it's something you would like to go on with or not. And you talked about dating and courtship.
Mm-hmm.
This is one person who doesn't know the definition of dating and courtship. I had none. He met me and he said, I want to marry you.
So you guys didn't date for long?
So you
no dating, no courtship.
Oh my God.
From the one
This is a
he
leap
was
of
like,
faith.
I want to go to your, I don't know him. He wants to go to, even the person I courted or dated is not my husband today. But no mistakes. No mistakes and no regrets.
Were you at peace? Were you tensed? Did you feel unease about the whole rush?
I don't even know what I felt.
You just went in there.
Yeah, I told my roommate then, because I was in my first year in the polytechnic. I told my roommate, I don't know what I feel. I don't know how I feel.
But you felt
do I want
right?
to marry him? Yes. I don't know how I feel. But there was one thing I picked seeing him. One thing.
Yeah.
He has this listening. He had listening ear.
He had.
Yeah, I want you to keep that because we'll get to that.
Yeah.
He had this listening ear. Everything I had to say, he would keep quiet and listen to both the ones that made sense and the one that didn't make sense. And that was a whole lot to me. I talk too much.
Okay.
And I like when people listen to my nonsense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it makes a whole sense to me. And I want to share with you. So when I saw that, I'm like, ooh,
This is good.
Okay, he's a good
so
listener.
he had.
How about now?
Maybe along the line, he didn't have anyone.
Oh, you see,
You're trying to win it over, baby.
she didn't talk about love.
See, yeah, that's right.
She didn't tell you, I
that's
saw
true,
him
that's
and
true.
I
Something
fell in love.
attracted
Yeah.
him to
I'm
her.
telling you, when you base marriage on love,
It won't work.
it will end in divorce.
Because it's so scary, the number
Because
of
it's
divorces we have now.
it's
People
so
are even
scary
scared of getting
because
married.
everybody
again.
wants to feel in love.
Exactly.
They're not even true love, you know. Like she said, I didn't date also.
Really?
Yeah.
How
I didn't
long did
do
you
no
date?
courtship.
You're joking.
No.
No.
You know. Met him, you know, talked,
And
and he went straight to the point and said, I want you to be my wife.
Oh,
I beg,
wow.
how did it take do I beg?
I think it works in your days.
Yeah.
It works in your days, your time.
My time.
generation.
Yeah.
It's totally
It's so
different.
funny.
It's totally different.
Because you're the generation Z.
We're not the Z generation. We are the millennium.
Is it the Y? Is it the Y? What are you?
Maybe we are the Y. Maybe
You're the Y.
Yeah.
Okay, but
it's totally
that's
different
the
now.
thing.
It's so
That's the
scary.
thing, because
You don't
you guys think you know too much.
Exactly.
I don't
Okay.
And you don't want to be you.
You don't want to be you. You know?
When you say you,
How?
what do you mean?
Like you want to
Yourself.
pretend to be somebody else. We follow this trend that I want to be like
Vogue.
Beyonce.
This is how I want to have it.
This is what I want my hair to look at any given time. This is that. No, sometimes be you. And it's only when you're able to know what you want. If you're pretending to be somebody else, how do you know what you want?
Does it
You can't.
work for both male and female?
Yeah, both male and female.
Both ways. I would tell you.
Both male and female.
Go ahead, Ma. You are going to say something.
When I got married, I got married to somebody who wasn't rich,
Boy.
but he could pay his bills, but he wasn't rich. And when we were about getting wedded, I looked at it and I'm like, we can't afford, not now that in your generation,
flashy.
you pay for your ashebi. In my generation, no, you don't pay.
You pay for the process.
The bride
does everything.
The couple that are wedding pays for the wedding train.
Oh, wow.
Yes, you pay for your wedding train. So I looked at it, I'm like,
I can't
we
afford
can't
it.
afford to pay
You
for
can't
the wedding train.
pretend.
So I said there will be no wedding train. The wedding is
You
about
guys
myself.
were real with each other.
Yeah, I said there will be no wedding. He is indifferent. I said there will be no wedding train because my husband cannot afford that.
You don't want to
And
borrow.
I don't want borrow for wedding. For what?
Just
People borrow for
Yeah,
that.
it's not what I want.
And now that is being hard.
It's not what I
But
want
right
to do.
now, the young generation will borrow.
They give you a budget of what you
Yeah.
want.
Budget.
Yes,
Budget.
yeah,
I don't understand.
Yes.
Do you know what my friend said? My friend said, no, you do for people, we will do for you. They said, you know what? We will pay for our own. There's one hat I used to have. They said, you know, I like that your hat. Go buy it for us. We will buy it from you. And I bought those hats. And who was the chief? The page boy was my sister-in-law's son because he had a suit. And the little bride was my in-law's daughter because she had this. You know, she had this. So there was not that much, but otherwise I was looking at what would people say? Say then do wedding and they no get bridal train. I don't care. So being you, that also helped us not to put ourselves under pressure because we were doing wedding. In fact, people wed and run at a loss. We wed and had profit.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I picked, there was something Mrs. Obi said that caught my attention, and also Mrs. Chinyere, she said something also that caught my attention. She said kindness, and there was a phrase she made. She said, you can't move a caterpillar by force. It's just with soft buttons. Ma, are they like soft buttons when it comes to marriage?
A lot of it. And that's what the generation calls mumu button.
If you can give that I want to press and hold it. I want to hold it.
It's a woman
So that the move button will remain there.
No, I tell you something. Maybe in a Toyota, there's where the button is, and it's not the same in a Benz.
Yeah.
So you find yours and hold it. You know, for instance, I have somebody who is very quiet. My husband is on the quiet side. I'm the boisterous one. So it's not every time he wants discussion. In fact, he comes to you when he wants to discuss. And when he doesn't want to discuss, he needs his space. But someone else will say, hey, he doesn't like talking to me. Every time, he doesn't like talking to me. No. The button is that he doesn't want discussion. So I hold it. So whatever I want to say, I keep it for when he comes. When he comes to discuss, but we lay everything we need to discuss on the table.
Okay.
Do you understand? So you find your own and keep it.
And
Maybe
at that point, he has a listening ear.
at that point he
will listen
he's
to you.
ready. Yeah, so he wants to listen.
He's
so he
ready
has
to
a
listen.
listening ear.
All right, ma. Coming to kindness, how can I show kindness in my marriage? How can I be kind? Because I have been hearing the word kindness, and I feel it's showing someone else care, love, and being nice to a person. How can I reciprocate that into my marriage, knowing that this person is my forever partner? Okay. And I will want to show this person, because it gets to a point when you just lose everything.
Okay.
How can I show kindness in my marriage?
You can show kindness in different ways. There are things that are necessary in life. You know, you have to provide for your family. It's a necessity, but it's still kindness because you're doing it without being asked. So don't wait for your wife to ask you, we need food in the house. You should automatically know that at this point in time, we should need food in the house. And if at that point you're not buoyant enough to provide that food, talk to her before she comes to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, she's seeing it as she's feeling me. She knows what I want. You understand what I'm saying? You know already that, okay, I provide once a month, I give her X amount of money. And by that time of the month, the money is not there. Maybe you didn't get paid on time or something like that. Talk to her. And I'm telling you, once you talk to your wife, we appreciate it so much. Because one is telling me, you're paying attention to me. Even when I don't even think you're thinking about me, you're thinking about me.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm... But this is a necessity in life, not even in marriage. Necessity in life.
In life.
There must be
Communication.
Communication
You just have
comes
to
in.
communicate with her.
Not feeling like she should know
That
what
she
to
should
do.
know. Don't think she knows.
Communication.
Yeah, why not communicate?
Communicate with her.
In its-
Then don't also just do the needful. Sometimes go above
Oh,
that needful.
that needful.
You know, we have the needfuls in the family. We have this and this
Basic
is very,
needs.
very basic. We must have it in the family. Sometimes just go above. You might not even have it to do then, but just speaking it, you say it's okay.
Awesome. So what leads to, based on what you're saying, so what leads to a marriage getting destroyed? What leads to this? Because, the things you just mentioned now.
Comparing.
Comparing. Okay.
Absence of what we all said. Absence of communication.
Yeah.
Absence of kindness.
Yes.
Absence of considering us.
Constantly or once in a while.
Constantly, not once in a while.
It starts like a
It start,
tickle.
yeah. Then they
It
keep
starts
growing.
small and
Then
then
they
it
keep
starts
growing. They keep growing.
Yes.
Yeah.
When it's me,
Me.
my job, my business, you don't think
My
about
life.
us.
Does this go both ways?
Of course, both ways.
In a situation where the wife earns more
Yeah.
than the husband,
Yeah.
who should take the bulk of the bills at home, like
finances very
basic
important.
Well, as far as I'm
rent,
concerned,
fees?
as far as I'm concerned, the man is the head of the family.
Okay.
If I earn more than my husband, it shouldn't be a question. I shouldn't even speak about it.
What do you think, Mrs.
I
Lee?
should let him still feel he's the head of the family. Even if the money is coming from me.
Meaning you
But
give.
now this is a problem.
It's a dicey
Because
situation.
Very dicey, because some people feel like she earns more than me, yet she wouldn't pick most of the bills in the house. She's still waiting for me with the little one.
No,
I
but
earn.
why are we even talking about who is picking the bills?
Most couples
They
go
do, that's
through
what I'm
that
saying. Sometimes
conflicts
they
and
do.
crises,
Yeah,
and they
most
we shouldn't
couples
even
fight.
The marriage
in a
collapse.
marriage, we shouldn't even be talking about who is picking the bills. I believe,
No, we're not talking about
if I see something
That
I
you
need
can
to
do.
do
You
it,
feel the need.
I do it.
Most
because
women
I
feel
the
a
need.
man is a
I don't have
carer.
to go to my husband and
Yes,
say,
this generation, they believe the man
Is the provider who's
mandatory
the,
thing
he
that
has
a
to
man-
pay.
that's his responsibility.
That
He must do.
it
that
hasn't
is what it
changed.
is. It hasn't changed.
That is what
And
it
what
is.
if
what
he's
I'm
not
saying.
financially buoyant to take up
That's
those
what I said. I
bills?
don't need to
Working.
wait for him.
You take it upon
You take it
yourself.
upon yourself.
Okay, so what if you take it upon yourself
And
and,
he
the man now becomes
relaxes.
laid back and hopes you continue? Some people
'Cause that
are
happens
right here.
too.
Some people
Some
are
people
like that.
can take advantage of the fact that
I think that's where communication
talk
comes
about-
in.
That's where the communication comes in. You have to communicate with the man. I don't see a hardworking man. Remember I said there must be something you saw in
attracted
him
you.
that attracted him to you.
Okay.
I don't see a man going just like, let me lay back because my wife is making this money. I'm telling you something.
Our generation, it happens.
Some men do
There's so many
that.
men
I
like
think,
that.
I think it's just the
There's so many
society
men
right
like
now.
that.
Now I think society is making them feel that way. Because
It's
you can
sad.
go out and look for this job, you're
Thank
not getting
you.
it. What do you do?
You're right, though.
At that point, what do you do?
Can a woman carry the family for a long time?
She can without everybody
She can.
knowing. And it depends on how the man
Treats her.
reciprocates
Treats her,
effort.
yeah.
Yes. For instance, the man is the head of the home. He should pay the bills. That's what I think. That's my
what I
opinion.
That's how I was raised.
He should pay the bills. I am his helpmate.
Support system.
Yes, I support. So if he's not able to pay the bills, you will see it in him. You will see the remorse
you will
in
see
him.
it in him.
When you come back and food is on his table, before he eats, he'll be like, hey,
How did you manage?
How did you manage? You've done so much,
Appreciation.
I know. And you're
That's
the
the
one shutting
kindness.
him
That's
up.
the kindness.
And you'll be the one shutting him up.
That
You shouldn't
it's
say
okay.
this.
Don't
Like,
say this
Yeah,
now.
together,
Yeah.
this.
Yes, he should know that he is lacking in that side. If he lays back, then he's a lazy.
Then he's a lazy.
So moving forward,
Getting married counseling.
moving forward now, I would want to ask to you, Mrs. Idiga, how do you handle infidelity in marriage, and also a lying husband or a lying spouse?
Okay. Well, I don't know how to answer this question because for me, when I got into marriage, I told myself I'm in for good.
Okay.
I told myself I am in for good. And I look at my husband as my first son. You know why? Because there is nothing my son will do on this planet Earth that I will not forgive him.
All right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
You will hear, they can knock on that door right now and say, and I'll be like, it's police. I'm like, what's happened? They'll be like, oh, your son Ike was found stealing, or he went to steal, or he raped a woman, or, he's in jail right now. What are you going to do? You will run, you will dress
Naturally.
up, you will go to the police station.
Yes, of course.
Sure.
Your son has done something very bad.
Yeah, of course.
He did. I'm not condoning it, but because he's my flesh and blood, because he's my son, I have to give him that support. So I told myself, my husband is my first son.
It's inside.
So no matter what he does on earth,
It's unforgivable.
the first thing I'll do is forgive if I ask questions.
But do you think, because the man already knows that, now I'm asking Mrs. Obi, he already knows you're forgiving, you will tolerate this because you've been tolerating it over and over again. Do you think it can compel him to change or to continue in his ways?
It should compel him to change. If he's
Naturally.
Naturally.
But what
If
if
he's interested
He's a
in the
good
marriage.
person.
Except where he's not interested in the marriage. And that's where you see the red flags coming up again. If so many things make a man to cheat, actually. Sometimes.
Okay, so let's go there now.
Sometimes the man is not even the one cheating. Do you understand? I want to put it that way. Sometimes something is cheating on the man and the evidence is showing on the man.
For example.
Oh, okay. So please, I would like to know that.
A lot of times, for instance, in the offices and so on, a lot of times, secretaries force themselves on the husband.
Okay.
Conditions make, like, maybe the man is looking for a job. Okay, I tell you a real life scenario. There's somebody who was looking for a job for the husband,
Okay.
and the big man told, okay, send your husband to me, he'll get the job. He came, CV was fine, everything was fine. Okay, I'll give you the job. And he went back and told the wife, you know what? Your man is going to get the job under one condition. You have to let me sleep with you.
Wow.
And this is somebody who wants to pay bills earnestly in the house. He wants to be the man. He feels lower than a man because he's not able to take up his
Function
bills.
as yes.
And the woman, because this communication we're talking about in the marriage, open up. The woman went and said, this is what this condition
She told her
is getting us
husband.
into.
She told her
Yes,
husband. Okay.
And it took them a long time to think about
decide.
it. And the man came back and begging, say, please do this for us. Oh yes,
Real
real
life
life.
story.
Yes,
Wow, like he
do
begged
this
his
for
wife.
us. For us.
So now there is an understanding.
Yes, there's an understanding, and he would use it
Stupid
against her.
understanding, but all
Yeah,
for
it's a
us.
silly understanding.
It might be
but it's
stupid,
for
but
us,
it's
yeah.
all
Stupid
for the
understanding,
family.
but all for us. Do you understand?
Would this not come? Okay, that's a different.
Oh, that's a different thing altogether.
Yeah.
You get it. So, whatever happened, subject for another day.
Okay.
But there are reasons where now, if you say the lady cheated, are you right? Yes, you are right. Did she cheat? In my own opinion, no.
The husband.
Somebody cheated on her and is showing on her. That's what I mean by sometimes that's where I was
Like they
going.
had an okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
So many things mean that the man actually is not supposed to cheat. Like I told my husband, I said, any day anybody meets you alone and say you did this, I'll tell your wife. Give him my phone number. Give her my phone number. Let her call me. I'll be the one to address the case. But what I'll do behind, you don't need to know. You don't need to know what happens between both of us. But in front, I am here for him 247. I'm his pillar.
You're right, and
Because I expect him to be my own pillar.
Exactly.
I am his pillar. Whatever he does, he has my backing. But what we do behind the scene between both of us is between both of us. Like she said, if the police comes for my son, I won't let them take my son away. I have to do what I can do. But when it becomes a reoccurrence, then you know he's not interested in the marriage. Like I said, everything works to us, this union. If you're interested in the union, you will protect whatever you're interested in. But if the red flags come reoccurring, then you know he's tired. He doesn't need to tell you.
Talking about red flags, like emotional abuse, physical abuse,
That's a red flag.
financial abuse.
financial abuse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, he doesn't bring money. Yes. When he has it,
money.
When he has it, yeah.
or he doesn't want you to work because he doesn't want you to
Quit
earn
your
more
job.
than him. People do that.
Exactly.
At one point, at one point, do you draw the line and say, you know what, this marriage isn't going to work?
at the point where
When do you
it's
walk
got to do
away?
with my life. At the point where the consequences has got to do with my life.
At that point, I'll
walk away. But I won't wait till it takes my life.
Yeah.
But when I wait and you know what, we are heading for June, I walk away because I have to be alive.
Now,
Take care of
narrowing
your
it
kids.
down to Nigeria, or let's say Africa, but Nigeria, let me just narrow it down to Nigeria. At what point, you said at the point where it may take my life. Some people would say physically or mentally.
Both. You know, if you're physically, if you're physically abusing me, for me is a no-no.
Of course.
If you're mentally abusing me,
because mental, emotional abuse
and
is
if you emotionally abuse me, I think it's a no-no. But you know what? It all depends on what we call abuse. Because we also, we're talking about the both male and female right now.
Okay.
Some women have toxic in their mouth.
Sure.
And we don't even believe we're abusing the person.
Okay.
We don't believe, and that's where this compromise we're talking about comes in. Like when I got married to my husband, I'm a very hot-tempered person. I am one person who believes if you step on my one toe, I will step on 5. So this is, is it good? No.
You have to.
Well, let me tell you how it stopped. Because I got married to a man who knows that every little thing might upset her. You know what he did? When he sees that, Chile is coming, he draws back.
Yeah.
Then I don't have an excuse to get angry or to explode.
So there's no trigger.
There is no trigger. But you know what? It means that he has learnt me.
Yeah.
He understands me. For his own side, I see him as somebody who is present but is absent. And I mean everything I'm saying. He will be with you right here, but he's absent.
How?
Maybe you're saying something he's not even paying attention to you.
That happens.
Okay, like a body present, absent.
I said he is with you.
Thinking about
How do you manage?
Like he was with you and he is not with you. And I'm like, okay. And you say something to him and
forget.
He didn't tell me.
Forget. Yeah, that happens.
Maybe you said it in your mind. I said it in my mind. He said, yeah. But you didn't say it. But you said it to him.
Thank you.
So that's why I said he is present, but he's absent. Now I understand the type of person he is. When it comes to a very important thing, I make sure I say it when he needs my attention.
Okay.
When he wants me to listen to something, then I will now say whatever I want to say. Then he doesn't forget.
That's right.
And he even did it with the whole family in general. Like, he is in the house, but he's so absent that sometimes he doesn't even know what his children are doing. Wow. But he's in the house. He has always been in the house. My husband is somebody that comes home early. He wants to eat with the kids. But he might not even know
what's going on.
90% of what happened in the children's life.
Wow.
But he's always there. Why? Okay. His mind is focused on maybe how do I coordinate this business? How do I do this? How do I meet the next person I'm meeting? And when I understood that, I now placed myself to play the role of that mother and father.
Yes.
When I'm around the kids.
To create the balance.
I created that balance for him. And he goes, when is daddy coming
Instead
back?
of complaining and nagging and creating
So I never complained to the point that my kids, found out that their father was actually absent in the marriage. Okay. They didn't know.
Because you covered.
Because I covered it all. And when my first daughter got married, actually the 3 of them, I called them and I sat them down. I said, don't think you have a perfect father. Because that's what they have in their mind.
Okay.
My dad is so perfect. My dad was always there. My dad is this.
And so they may start to look for a perfect man.
So I told my kids, I said, sit down, I need to talk to you. I said, don't think your father is perfect because he is not.
Good.
I said, if I open my mouth and tell you some things about your father, you will run away. You will not believe it. So right now, I don't ever want to hear in your mouth, if it was my dad would do this. My dad would. No.
Ma, I think I love.
Go into your marriage, looking at that man. This is my husband. Let me make my marriage work. don't ever compare your marriage with that of your parents.
Ma, I love what you did because I've heard stories of people getting the shock of their life when they actually believe, since their father was a certain way in their own eyes, and their mother, doesn't bring them to reality, so they get married, hoping it will be like that. And then maybe their husbands act a certain type of way, and they discuss with their mom. Their mom now gives them the shock of their life. That's when they actually realize.
So you have to like tell them ahead of time. Tell them. When I got married, my dad told me, I said, I will ask you a question and I need you to sincerely answer me. I was very young when I got married. I was actually 17 when I got married. And he asked me, he said, what is the best marriage on earth? And so I'm like, I just got married. How would I know the best marriage on earth? I'm like, what kind of a question is this? He said, well, I know you wouldn't know it, but let me tell you right now, the best marriage on earth is a marriage between a deaf man, a deaf woman and a blind man. Ooh. I like that. And I'm like, and I'm like, why? How? He's like, a woman needs to hear to act. A man must see to act. So when you're deaf, you don't hear anything. And when you're married, for your husband is blind, he doesn't see. He will not see.
That's interesting.
Very interesting.
And both of you will continue, Then I took that to heart. And I do mine and I do his. You know how I do his? Because he might not understand what my father had just said. My father didn't say that to him. He said it to
you. Yes.
And I'm one person that I don't really like to say, oh, my dad, my mom, my this, my brother, my sibling. I don't use that. I don't use it often in my marriage because he has his own dad, he has his own mom, he has his own siblings. So I don't want you to start comparing when I keep saying my, What I did was I made sure I never listened to gossip. Okay. I turned a deaf ear to whatever somebody tells me or whatever somebody is saying. I don't bloody care what you say. Okay. This is my marriage we're talking about. And I'll ask you, when someone, like I have a friend of mine that came in and told me, oh, you know what, you need to be wise. That was when I came to Lagos, you need to be wise. This Lagos is this one, shine your eye. You don't know what your husband is doing. Do you know what Chid is doing? Chid is this, Chid is that, Chid
That's
is that.
her husband.
This is my husband now. Okay. She's telling me what my husband is doing. I was just looking at her. And when she finished, I said, can I ask you a question? She said, yes. I said, while you were talking, did you say our husband, my husband? And she said, okay. I say your husband now. I said, then that solves the problem.
That solves the problem.
If he's my husband, I don't see why you should be telling me all this.
All this, yes.
Who told you I don't know? You understand what I'm saying? Who told you I don't know?
So moving on.
And he won't come back. And she won't come back.
She never came back. And she even went to other friends of hers. Like,
don't bother going to her.
Yeah. That one.
That automatically keeps them
so they keep them calm. Your
marriage is calm.
Yeah. Did I ask my husband when he came in? No. This is something I had in my mind.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what the advisor wants to do.
Yeah.
He wants to kick you out. And when she comes in, she turns
She will tolerate everything she's talking about.
Mrs. Obi, moving forward, what role do you think children? We all know what role children play in marriage, but I wanted to ask the role they play towards a successful marriage, the good and the bad. For example, when a child is born into a family, now this could most men during the birth of a child or after the child is born, during the omugo, in quotes, some men don't feel included or in the whole, inclusive in the whole of the process of that. Is now the new mom, the in-laws, trying to take care of a child, she lacks sleep and all of that. So the man seems or feels isolated. How do you handle this? Because if not handled properly, I don't know,
Okay. The children play a whole lot of role. Like they also complement the marriage.
Of course.
They make the marriage bigger, better, happier, challenging. But during the omugo, I think omugo affords the man opportunity to actually look at his business and look at himself.
Yes, thank you.
And then it's a family. We're one family. So when you come back, My mom is in Omugo. It's equally your mom. Just like your mom is my mom. So when you come back, you're coming to meet your mother. The man is coming to meet my mother, who is equally his mother in the house. So he's welcome, he's inclusive. But I understand that attention.
Sometimes you don't give them attention.
Isolated shifts to the child.
Newborn, yeah.
And that's what it is. Everything has its own time.
Natural
That's
thing.
what it is.
So he should understand.
At that time, that attention shifts. Remember that I am also his baby, just like he's my baby. So when there was no child, I needed more of him. He needed more of me.
Okay.
Now that my attention has shifted a bit to the child, use that time and face your business. And then when you come back, you face the family.
This is a very interesting discussion, but let's take a break now. We'll be right back.
You know, when he's not there, the whole fiber in your body misses something.
Welcome to Beyond Bold Podcasts, a place where you can catch the reels on relationship gists, unspoken laws on girls' code and guys' code, movie and musical review, entertainment, fashion, lifestyle, and many more. Follow us on YouTube, like, subscribe, and comment at Beyond Bold Podcast, Facebook at Beyond Bold Podcast, and Instagram at Beyond Bold Podcast.
Beyond Bold Podcast.
It's quite interesting that both of the guests to the house married quite early, and you've stayed this long in marriage. I'm so excited. I'm so inspired.
Start dating their men.
I'm already picking a marriage counselor.
I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed.
Yeah.
At that early age, I want to know, how did you build intimacy with your husband? Because
And continue to build intimacy.
up till now,
up till
it's
now.
something that has been very challenging for our generation. And I think our viewers will love to know how you guys managed so far.
You want to go first?
Miss Obi, please.
How we built intimacy, I think just by knowing ourselves. He got to know me, like I said, the constitution time. He got to know, okay, this will offend her. My wife will not like this. And I know, okay, he won't like this, or this is not appropriate for him at this point.
Okay.
We shouldn't raise this at this time, or we should just let this slide. Things like that. So when I begin to know what he likes and features in that line, and he knows what I like and feature in that line, you tend to go to where you're comfortable. So we created our comfort zone for ourselves, and that brought us together and still binding us together. So that's basically.
Okay.
I totally agree with her. And I just want to add, when we talk about intimacy, I know everybody that is listening to us right now will think about sex. Okay, because that's
That's
the
what
main thing.
most people know
That's what
intimacy.
You know, that what
Think of,
a lot of people know as
As intimacy, yeah.
And you know, I would just tell the younger generation right now that sex is not everything. Because the way and manner they think and talk about sex is not for marriage. It's for commercial purposes. It's for commercial purposes. You know, if you want sex, you can buy sex. But if you want intimacy, you can buy that.
No,
build it,
yeah, you have to
It
build.
has to flow naturally. It has to flow naturally. So if you're in bed with your husband and you don't feel that flow,
Connection.
you're just having sex with him.
Okay.
You know? So this is where the intimacy comes in. I want to feel that you're feeling me right now, not because you're having sex with me. Because he can afford to buy sex outside. I can afford to buy sex outside. But because we want to complement each other, we want to feel each other. There's something called, you know, when he's not there, the whole fiber in your body misses something. It misses something. So when you talk about
Because there are couples that don't miss each other.
yeah,
and that's sad.
yeah. Like I know if I travel in my family when we're all still together with the kids, they're like, "Mommy, each time you leave, it's like somebody died in the house." He's there.
That is like
But like I said,
somebody,
he can't function.
Yeah.
somebody left. That is also missing somebody.
Missing somebody. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I understand what the younger generation is thinking about right now. It's 50-50. During our generation, it wasn't 50-50. I know you can attest to that. It wasn't 50-50.
Yeah.
I know my roles in the family. I can still, those things my husband can still do in the family, I can still do them.
Yeah. Thank you.
I can still do them. So, but I'm not going to take advantage of that and say, oh, because you're not doing this. Oh, because you're not doing the generation right now, like my kids, is 50-50. My husband wasn't given the opportunity to bet his child.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you bet the child for?
I didn't, yeah.
In our
for me,
generation.
why would you do that? Why would my husband bet
What's
my
he coming
child?
there for?
Why? Why are you here? Why would my husband change the diaper? Why? That's my job. You understand what I'm saying? But right now, with this generation, it's 50-50.
Help me change bikini.
So I'll sit there and I'll hear my daughter calling
Carry
the
the baby.
Hey, the baby just food. Help me go change her. And the
But that's the inclusion we are talking
That's
about.
what I'm saying.
Now
So
they're
that's
more
the
That's the
inclusion.
definition of inclusion.
So they do that because they feel. And let me tell you why they do that. Because they looked at our marriage.
Sure.
They looked at our marriage. Growing up, they'll be like, "Why is mommy always doing
Doing
this?"
everything, the house chores.
You understand what I'm saying? Mommy will cook, mommy will clean, mommy will feed us. If
still
we are
work.
sick, mommy is still there, mommy is still working. Daddy just goes to work and he comes back. And he comes back with remote control on his hand, watching the
CNN.
TV, and putting his head.
Crossing his
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he's asking you that. And your child just saw you in the morning, bathing them, preparing them for school, taking them to school, bringing them back from school, feeding them, cleaning up the house, doing their hair, and they see their father come back and sit down and watch TV and say, "Nya horrible." You understand what I'm saying?
They didn't see that activity in the 8 hours.
And the 8 hours.
I wish this conversation can continue all day. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, Mrs.
Counseling section.
Exactly.
Thank you, Mrs.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Truly appreciate your presence here today. Mrs. Obi, thank you so much for the advice, for everything. I learned a lot today. I'm sure you guys
I'm
did.
so
Like, I
inspired.
learned
The
so
deaf
much.
ear
I
and the
think I'm
blind
going to learn
eyes.
that. That's very important.
I
want
just
to
show
be
me how
deaf
to show a
and
blind
blind.
eye. If you show a blind eye, oh, these eyes can see you. I would see.
And so today, this comes, we are bridges can continue. And so this, every good thing, like they say, has an end. And so this is the end of the podcast for today. But please don't forget to like, to comment, to, let us know what you think.
Share your comments.
Let us know. And please don't forget to follow us on our YouTube channel, subscribe. Then follow us on our social media platforms, Facebook at Beyond Bold Podcast, Instagram at Beyond Bold Podcast. Subscribe, share. Don't forget to share.
Like and share.
Okay, guys. So I hope you had a nice time.
Yeah.
This is all signing out. I'm Miriam once again.
Ciao.
Bye.